Hello, I'm Kevin Janes, Regional Environmental Officer for FEMA Region 6. The Office of Environmental and Historic Preservation, or EHP, provides the guidance, expertise, and innovative solutions to ensure that FEMA-funded projects are legally compliant so the applicant funding is not jeopardized. In this video, we'll discuss what you can do to facilitate the EHP review of your community's projects. Each project is unique and may be subject to different local, state, and federal environmental and historic preservation laws. The extent of FEMA's EHP review is based on the project's scope of work. Working with an EHP specialist early in the disaster recovery process will ensure that your community's project applications have the required documentation and will also expedite the review process. Once the immediate threat to life and property has passed following a disaster, FEMA and the state are legally obligated to consider the effects of the disaster recovery actions. FEMA EHP works with your community to prevent further impacting natural and cultural resources by FEMA-funded activities. EHP specialists review applications for compliance with numerous laws and executive orders, including the National Environmental Policy Act, the National Historic Preservation Act, the Clean Water Act, and executive orders protecting floodplains, wetlands, and environmental justice. To help facilitate a timely review of your community's projects, there are several items that you can provide to your public assistance project specialist. A clear and concise description of the damage, an accurate latitude and longitude of where work will take place, several clear and current photographs of buildings, structures, or areas to be affected by the project, the original or estimated date of construction for the structure or building, describe if work will take place in the original pre-disaster footprint or if the project will require a new or larger footprint. Be sure to include copies of all permits or applications for permits that have been sent to federal or state agencies. Please remember that if projects are started before EHP review is complete, FEMA funding could be jeopardized. EHP produces a disaster-specific Green Book with information to assist applicants in addressing environmental and historic concerns during the disaster recovery process. You can obtain a copy of the Disaster Green Book during your kickoff meeting or at any time from your FEMA project specialists. Many disasters result in debris removal operations. It's important to know that certain requirements must be met for federal reimbursement of debris removal work. Debris removed from public property and taken directly to a certified landfill does not require additional permits. Your public assistance project specialist will need to be given the name, address, and waste license number of the facility where the debris was disposed. Debris that will be staged, burned, or buried requires coordination with the State Environmental Quality Office and State Historic Preservation Office. These coordination forms are available in the Green Book. Please complete the forms, including the GPS location of the debris site, and send to the appropriate state agencies as indicated. Provide your project specialist with copies of the response you receive, including a signature from the state agency representative. If debris will be staged within a floodplain, coordination with the local floodplain administrator is required. If you have questions, ask an EHP specialist for assistance. Projects involving work in or along waters of the United States or wetlands will require that the applicant coordinate with the United States Army Corps of Engineers, or the Corps. Examples of projects that may require Corps coordination are culverts, bridges, bulkheads, piers, dredging, and bank stabilization or reinforcement. If you'll be performing work under a Corps nationwide permit, are applying for a permit, or currently hold a permit for work, please give copies of all documentation to your project specialist. Each project must also comply with the Endangered Species Act. Although many projects have no effect on listed species, it's important to work with an EHP specialist and be aware of endangered and threatened species and their critical habitat in your community. The Endangered Species Act is a serious EHP law that can result in criminal prosecution for violations. Projects involving historic or potentially historic properties will require that FEMA consult with the State Historic Preservation Office. Potential historic properties are not just limited to buildings, but can also include culverts, bridges, dams, roads, or other unique structures. It is important to contact a FEMA EHP specialist early in the recovery process when projects include work on or around facilities over 45 years of age, are located in historic districts, or could cause any type of ground disturbance. FEMA EHP specialists are available to assist you. The consequences for noncompliance can be significant and include project delays, denial of funding, the obligation of funds, civil and criminal penalties, lawsuits or other enforcement actions, and negative publicity. Please stay in contact with a FEMA EHP specialist throughout the disaster recovery process. By working together, we can help to ensure that your community receives funding to assist with recovery from disaster without causing further negative impact to the environment or cultural resources. We hope this information is helpful to you as you recover from this disaster event.